everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of My Mom Sandy. We are your hosts. I am Josh Fasten, and the woman next to me was once referred to as the nation's sweetheart. This is my mom, Sandy.
The nation's sweetheart?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You're little Sandy Fasten.
That reminds me, I did find going through my stuff at my mom's house, I just have to say this really quick. I found a picture of me with pigtails, and I swear to God, I look just like the little girl. And remember when I was watching The Bad Seed that day?
Little House on the Prairie?
The little black and white film that was on the TV. I looked just like that girl.
You were the stunt double. You could have been.
I swear, I did. I swear. It's like, it's uncanny.
All right, so right now we are recording this on Monday, March 16th, 2020. It is 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We are going to throw this up.
That's redundant, by the way. 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
All right, it's 3
p.m.
3 p.m.
Or it's 3 in the afternoon, right?
And we're going to just throw it up, let everyone get to it, because
we know you're all bored.
The nation is on lockdown. We are in the middle of a national emergency, pandemic. Coronavirus is taken over. It's the end of the world as we know it. Let's get into it.
The end of the world as we know it.
Oh, it's going to be a lawsuit. So we didn't record last week. We didn't have an episode last week. Things were just hectic. It was busy. And so much has changed in the past 2 weeks from the last episode. Last episode, we talked about coronavirus. We talked about COVID-19 and all that. And at that point, I think we had even started that episode by me asking you, are we blowing this out of proportion?
Okay. And I said...
And here we are 2 weeks later, literally...
Well, I'm going to say, you know what? Listen, I think it's a very serious thing. Apparently, it's highly contagious. I will say that I just heard on the news that that most of the cases that we're getting here in the United States now are originating in Europe. That Europe actually is the hotbed for coronavirus. The hotbed. I mean, they've closed down Italy, I think Spain and France as well. I don't know about Germany. But, yeah, so I think that when you restrict, when you close your border, the problem in Europe is they're all EU countries now, so they all have open borders, so people just come and go as they please. So,
but I think one of the issues though with the United States right now that everyone is talking about is that I saw this woman on the internet last night talking, and she was saying, I mean, we're days away from turning into Italy, for having this be a crisis in the United States. Excuse me, exactly what is happening in Italy right now, I mean, I've written down a bunch of stuff to talk about because I was just seeing, there was news that came out today that was saying people are carrying the disease, so where we are right now, so that we can listen to this years from now and look back on these times, is that essentially,
if we're still alive,
everything is kind of being shut down, right? As of last week, it was like, I think the big thing that kind of started, at least for me looking at it, the big thing that kind of started the snowball was the NBA decided to suspend their season. And It was kind of like, oh shit. And I remember watching a Kings game, hockey game the night before.
I think it might have been the night of.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe you're right. It was the night of.
Yeah, it's the last game they played.
And I remember watching the game thinking...
It was our Game 7 winning streak. It's like, damn, we haven't played this well in how many years now?
Years.
Yeah.
And they kept saying at the bottom of the screen where they like roll through NHL will make a statement tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the NBA was like, they suspended the season. Obviously I knew when they said that hockey was not going to be far behind because all those locker rooms are shared, right?
Yeah.
So the next day it was like NHL was paused. They said the season was paused. And then you started seeing things kind of snowball. Disneyland closed, Universal Studios closed, and it was kind of this effort to reduce
LA Unified School District.
Yeah, and then all the schools closed. That happened last Thursday, and that they made the announcement last Thursday, and that's when the panic started. I was at the grocery store on Thursday, like midday, and it was not packed. There were things on the shelves.
everything was pretty much normal. You couldn't find toilet paper, but hand sanitizer.
So we saw this kind of thing happen where it was like things started, and first it started with toilet paper. Toilet paper started flying off shelves, and
apparently it's made in China.
Weird. So you're literally wiping your ass with the coronavirus.
Well, they apparently, and I didn't know this because I thought it was not made in China, but one of the store managers yesterday or a couple of days ago when I went to the grocery store told me that what we do is we send our recycled paper to China. They turn it into toilet paper and then they send it back to us.
There's no way that all toilet paper is made in China. Right? That's not like...
I don't know why we would do that. I don't know why we would send it to China, number one. I don't know why we would trust them with our toilet paper, with our antibiotics. They make a large majority of our antibiotics there. And that's another thing they talked about is, it could be a shortage of antibiotics because of that.
They make our phones.
Well, Apple makes our phones.
They're made by Chinese They're made people. In China. Yeah. They're designed in...
But but China is always, they're notorious for putting lead, heavy lead content like in dishes, pet toys, kids' toys. Matter of fact, there was just recently some kind of recall for toys that were being sold at the 99-cent store or something like that.
Well, store. Like the thing that
they were Chinese, they were made in China and they were heavily loaded with lead.
What would be nice is at the end of all this if we took back a little bit of that, if we started bringing that back to America.
I think that would be important because if we're going to be self-sufficient with gas, why can we not be self-sufficient with everything else?
Toilet paper.
Exactly. Toilet paper, antibiotics.
So toilet paper started flying off the shelves. And I had gone to a couple stores as well, and I remember it being that thing where it was like, oh, there's no toilet paper, there's no hand soap, but you could still get everything else. There was still, produce, there was still canned goods, there was still milk, eggs, bread, crackers, that sort of thing. And then probably over the last, today's Monday, so essentially over the weekend. Right?
No, I'm going to tell you when it happened. It happened after they closed the schools.
I know, but I went.
That was Thursday night. I know, but Thursday night was when the run on the stores started. I went to Trader Joe's Friday night. The shelves were empty. I swear.
So over the so from Thursday night on, it was basically like
Saturday I went to Ralph's again. There's tons of stuff I could not find.
So I went to Whole Foods this morning. Excuse me, got the burps. To pick up a couple things for you.
It's that zinc.
And the shelves are done, are bare. And I don't even need to say this to anyone who's listening because I know you guys are on Instagram and I know you guys have seen it. And I think what a lot of people are saying is that what's unfortunate during this time is that people don't need to hoard and buy the stuff that they're buying. They could have gone and they could have done exactly what they always do, normal buying.
Well, there's two schools of thought here. Number one, yes, there's enough for all of us to have. There's just not enough for all of us to have right now, a month's supply. In other words, the stores will sell out if everybody wants, 2 to 4 weeks supply to be at their home. So yeah, the stores are going to sell out and it's going to be crazy. But on the other hand, I understand where people would panic and say, what if they close the stores?
Right. But that's the issue though, right? Is I think
then how do you balance that? Well, I'd like to have a few extra rolls of toilet paper. I'd like to have, an extra dozen eggs if that were to happen, if they were to close things down. Not only that, but I buy groceries for my mom. Half the stuff that they needed, I couldn't buy.
Yeah.
So,
So we've hit this thing where people are panic buying and because, someone like
I panicked bought, Jell-O for her.
All right. But that's the thing though.
And I told the healthcare worker, I said, I bought you bread because they had it.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is we see people, I've seen people panic buy. Yeah. So then I go to the store and I'm like, they had literally two loaves of sourdough bread left. I was like, I need both of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, freeze one.
Yeah.
You know? The other night it was like they had 4 boxes of these spaghetti noodles that I get. I need all 4 boxes.
Yeah.
You know, so now I've panic bought and I bought into it and
now you just got to make sure you eat it regardless of what happens.
Yeah. But I think that, you know, it says something about, I don't know, you know, it's a weird social experiment on our society of like, you know, okay, so you have all the toilet paper, you have all the hand sanitizer, but what about your neighbor? You know, what about your best friend? What about your loved ones, right? Do they not get the toilet paper then? You know?
Apparently not.
Right.
That's the problem.
The other thing is I don't understand the toilet paper thing. The food I get, like the food, like people going to canned goods but like.
Oh, I can't believe it. When I went to Ralph's on Saturday, like there was no soup. They have a whole canned soup section. No soup, gone.
But
it's
I get it.
Gone.
I don't get there's so many ways you can wipe your butt. On top of that, couldn't you just like, I mean, look, if you're pooping once a day or twice a day, can you just hop in the shower after and just rinse the butt?
Especially if you're quarantined at home.
Right.
You're not going anywhere anyway. Might as well just, you know, the water's still good, right?
Yeah. I mean, so far. All right. So that's happened. And I feel like that's, it's weird.
Well, I know, but I will say this, that, you know, like there was a gal who posted on Ring or a gal, I don't know, a gal or a guy, I have no idea what it is, but somebody posted that they had no problem going to the grocery stores and that if anybody in the neighborhood needed, you know, anything picked up or whatever, that they were willing to help, volunteer their time. And then there was like a million really nice posts, like thanking that person and, you know, and praising that person. And then there was the one post that when the person said, sounds like a scammer who just wants to get your address and rob you. And I'm thinking, man, you know.
I mean, look, I think that it brings up a very interesting thing right now, which is like, do you try to help people or do you try to just hoard and look out for yourself? You know, I mean, I've had a couple guys on the hockey team who we have like a team chat, and obviously we're not playing hockey right now. But you know, we still, you know, we talk to each other in the chat and they'll say things like, you know, hey, is everyone okay? Does anyone need anything? You know, oh, my family has, you know, excess of toilet paper. Does anyone need toilet paper? Which is like, you know, I mean, that's very thoughtful, you know, in this time, right? Because there's a lot of people who are not doing that. I've seen reports suggesting, and I think I read that there was actually a store that was going to start doing this, that the first hour of some grocery store, I forget where it was, in the morning that it's open was going to be just for senior citizens to come in. People,
I think that's a great
65
idea.
And over. But, you know, fuck, how many fucking millennials are sending Nana out there in the morning to get fucking, their eggs and, you know.
You send me to the store now.
I'd be like, all right, do it, Mom.
Mom, go ahead, go to the store for me.
Go get me some of those fags and vegan cheese.
There you go. I'll be like, what? I don't even know what that is.
So what they're saying now today is that Donald Trump came out and said that he wants everyone to limit their interaction with groups of less than 10. And I think what the big issue, so all these stores are closing, restaurants and bars have been ordered to shut down. And they're
not shutting down. They're not allowed to have
bars, gyms, pubs, wineries. Okay, restaurants can stay open. They can have to be half capacity, and they can only do.
Well, I heard that no dine-in. That's actually for some of the other states. I think I don't know what California's imposed.
I thought it was like half capacity, but they would rather you get takeout,
delivery or takeout. Yeah.
But so now what they're saying. So the big issue, what they're saying is, you could have the disease. You can have no symptoms for a few days. A. B. There's some people that have the disease that never show symptoms.
Right.
Which is a really scary thing to think of.
Well, it's only a scary thing to think of when you think about it, you passing it on.
Well, yeah, but that's what I think everyone's concerned about now. And I think that what really bothers me, and maybe this is me buying into like the panic and the media craze, is that if everyone can just hang out for like 10 days, 7 days, 14 days, and just not do much, I think that we could #flatten the curve and restore a little bit of normalcy back into our life and get this thing contained a bit I think the issue is, I mean, I can't even tell you how many Instagram posts, Facebook posts I'm seeing of people still being like, we're going out, I mean, up until the other night, we're hitting the bars, we're getting drunk, we're doing the thing. Yeah. Magic Castle, which private magicians club up in Hollywood, was literally encouraging people to come to the castle, saying, just if you're sick, don't come, but we're open business. And I'm just like, what in the actual fuck?
Well, yeah. It's a big deal to close a business. I mean, you've closed your salon.
Completely, yes. So
I'm assuming that you won't be paying rent for the week.
Well, no, I mean, without getting into all of my point, the way that my business runs. Yeah. But yeah, I think that you're right. It is a huge deal to close a business. It is a huge deal to close down.
My point is that you're just out a week's rent, maybe, or 2 weeks rent, or whatever that is.
Well, no, but I have no income.
Exactly. But my point is the person who actually owns the salon is out even more.
100%.
So it's very difficult
but at what point
to make that decision. Listen, we had an estate sale planned for this weekend.
But I just think
it's been canceled.
You have to be responsible, and you have to say to yourself, at what point do I back away and just say, this is for the greater good of mankind. This is not just for myself, but this is bigger than me. This is bigger than my business. This is bigger than, Well,
I hope it makes a difference, is all I can say. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't been out of the house today, so I don't know what it's like out there as far as traffic and
they had this live view of Times Square in New York.
Yeah. Nobody
there. I mean, you could count the amount of people. There's probably...
Well, I don't know about New York, but I know like New Jersey, they're doing it's not mandatory, but a suggested nobody out from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. unless it's a necessity.
Well, and that's what they were just doing in San Francisco, right? San Francisco's on like complete lockdown, which is
kind of on lockdown.
They're saying the same thing. Don't leave your house unless you need to go to the doctor's, the grocery store, unless it's a necessity.
Well, where the fuck else can you go? I mean, Well,
right. I mean, at this point,
the gym's closed, the movie theaters are closed, I mean, look, everything's closed.
But as of yesterday, or even the day before, I mean, there was things open still, and people were doing things, and people were,
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel as I'm taking my life in my hands just to go to the grocery store.
You shouldn't even be doing that.
Well,
that's a bad idea.
And I have a responsibility to take care of my mother in that whatever situation.
Got it. Did you happen to see the Sylvia Brown? Do you remember Sylvia Brown?
Best friends? No.
You don't remember? She was the woman. She was a psychic.
Oh yeah.
She was always on like
the blonde hair. She was always on Maury or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
The blonde-haired woman, older woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was blonde. Yeah, I guess she was kind of blonde. It was like a weird, dirty blonde. Did you see her thing recently?
No.
So she died. She died a while ago.
Yeah.
She
predict this pandemic?
She predicted. So she had a book called what the fuck was it called? End of Days, I think.
Yeah.
And in End of Days, and I don't know because I don't know if this was I'm trying to find the exact. I should have. Oh, here. Okay, I got it. So, she wrote this book, End of Days. It was a 2008 book, and people are saying she died in 2013. But she gained all this notoriety for her claims that she could predict the future, right? And she could communicate with the spirits and yada yada yada. So she had this. So this is like going around, and I don't know if this is like true or if this has been doctored, right? But apparently, cause I don't have her book. I don't
either.
Okay, but apparently in her book,
maybe a listener has it.
She said, in and around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived.
Good.
Attack again 10 years later,
Ooh.
And then disappear completely.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's from
but
her.
I mean, but okay, so she said that, but when was SARS? When was MERS? I mean, every 2 or 3 years we have, the bird flu, we have something. The interesting part is it all really originates in China, which is like, what the fuck? On top of that, I don't know. Okay, I have a hard time with the whole China thing, with the pandemics. They always are originating there. So it's like, clean up the acts there.
Well, okay. So, but what do you think of this Sylvia Browne thing? You kind of went directly to China. So, Sylvia Browne wasn't from China.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was.
I thought for sure she was Chinese. No, I know she's not from China. No, what I'm saying is that to predict that, it's not, I think SARS and MERS. Well, MERS is, I don't know if it really originated in China. It's because it's like Middle Eastern something. I
thought it stood for Middle Eastern Russian scientist.
I don't think that's it, but they all are bronchial. They all have to do with, what I'm saying is that to predict that was going to occur.
Not a long shot.
It's not a long shot.
Right.
Yeah. It's proven to be right. But again, it's not like, every 2 or 3 years we go through something like this.
Right.
And it's, fortunately we've controlled it. Even Ebola,
right.
A few years back.
Well, the other thing too, right, is I think that she could have, like, had coronavirus been something in like 2021, right?
Yeah.
And people would have looked back on her book.
She says in or around.
Right. So I think, people would have, and I think that was a way that, like, because there was things that came out about her, she had predicted this one family that their daughter had died, and there was a man that took her and they'd put her on the train tracks. Daughter never died. She was kidnapped. They found her like years later. But I think that you try to, as the quote unquote.
Was that a show? I think I might have seen that.
Maybe. But as the psychic,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You try to kind of safeguard yourself to say.
So you make very broad
right,
statements.
It's a broad thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that had this been 2021 or even 2022, this would have still been a hit.
Yeah,
people would have been
around
like
2020.
Right, people would have been like, "Oh wow,
That's,
she predicted this."
Yeah.
And even if you want to get exact, right? Like this started in 2019.
Yeah. That's true.
So,
but still, it's in or around 2020,
right.
December of 2000.
And then to go back to your thing with China and all these viruses that come from China, I gotta say, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, but stop eating the weird things.
But that's the thing, is that that's their culture, number one, and number two, they don't have the cleanliness standards there that we have here.
But how many times?
You can't have open markets here with, funky, weird animals that people are killing and eating.
I know, but how many times does
sludge and the,
right.
And the and
right.
It's just
but
gross.
How many, look, we know, people get, what do they get here from eating? Like if you eat like undercooked meat, you get salmonella, right?
The salmonella would be from chicken usually.
E. coli.
E. coli.
Right. So we know that there's all these things from eating. Look, I'm plant-based and I'm vegan, so I'm not going to turn this into a why to go vegan.
But listen, you can still get E. coli from
yes.
vegetables.
Yes, but there's been these things of like undercooked meat or meat that is, has shit in it. Literal.
Well, that's what E. coli is.
Right.
It's shit.
Poop shit.
Yes.
That's redundant.
But
I think that
poop shoot, that would be okay.
If I ate, pangolins.
Pangolins, right? I love that.
And
word.
I was like I just love me some pangolins. I put them on a stick. I make pangolin shababs, shabab kebab.
Pangolin kebabs.
Why do I call it shabab? It's like a song.
I don't know.
Shabab. That was a shoulder song. Shabab kebab. So if I'm over there eating pangolin kebabs, and then I'm like, I'll take the Dodger dog, the pangolin dog, right? I'll give me the quarter pounder, the pangolin, pangolin quarter pounder.
There you go.
And every 4 years, I get sick, or my family gets sick. I'm not eating pangolins anymore. You know what I'm saying?
It only take me once.
Right.
Once I eat it and I get sick, Although, maybe they don't associate it with that. I don't know.
They just think they didn't take a shower last night. So
I don't know.
And then I heard it was from
snakes.
I heard bats as well.
Yeah.
And then you were saying something like, oh, the penguins ate the bats, and the man who ate the bat who ate the penguin got the sickness.
That's right. There you go. It's a long train.
I just think that it's like at some point you have to step away and go, we need to change the way that we're doing things.
I know, but again, it's their culture.
I understand that. But
they're like a third world country in that sense. That those are again, we don't have open markets here.
Right, that's what I'm saying, though, is that they need to change. At some point, you have to look at it and go, hey, this takes away all the...
Well, they have to have scientists that come in and tell the people to do that.
The people aren't smart enough to understand that, hey, and look, this is taking away all the conspiracy theories that this was like a biological weapon.
Which I still...
Yeah, it could be, 100%.
Could be, yes.
But let's just attack the open air markets with pangolins running rampant and them just cutting them up in the street and making fucking pangolin shababs.
You said it again.
I did that
Penguin
on purpose.
Shababs.
I just think that you have to take a step back and look at it and go, hey, this is not like, if they're still over there being like, hey, give me the snout of that pangolin, then this is not helping.
In Japan they eat, I think, is it the puffer fish that's like highly poisonous?
Again, stop eating this shit that is killing you.
Would you not think that? Why would you take the chance? Apparently, it's a delicacy, but it has to be prepared in a certain way so that the poison is not in the fish. Otherwise, one bite and you could just fucking die.
There's been times that I've bought like broccoli or spinach in a bag, and it is triple washed, and I open it up, and there is like. There might be like a little shit, like a little piece of poop shit on the broccoli.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, hard to clean that.
And I'm like, I don't know what that is.
So I'm going to wash it again.
And so either I wash it again. Sometimes I just throw the whole bag away.
Yeah, great.
Right? Cause it's
imperfect.
Well, no, the whole bag is infected. It's contaminated.
Yes.
So I'm just like, guys, stop
with the puffer fish and the,
because now I'm not working for a week.
And the bats and the snakes.
Right. So now I'm not working for a week. You're 49. That's scary.
I know. Where will I work?
You're at risk. Well, you're not working, but you've got to kind of self quarantine. You can't be running rampant around. You don't really do anything anyways. But
well, I've been doing stuff at my mom's, but yeah, no. I mean, it's put a whole big damper on that whole process. Now we've had to postpone this thing, and it could be a real financial burden for my mother, and that's not good. So
that's the other thing is I think that this is going to be. I have little burpees.
It's because you ate the zinc.
The zinc. I ate it.
You did.
I think understandably so, this is going to be a huge economic problem for a lot of people. And I think that this is the time in which...
what were you telling... Was it you who was telling me that Whole Foods wanted to...
There was something that came out saying Whole Foods was asking their employees to give their sick time to the sick employees. I guess they get paid sick time or something, rather than just give all their employees more sick time. And I got to say, I went to Whole Foods.
And Whole Foods today were they selling out of everything again?
Sold out of everything. But I think there was some things that, I don't think they're getting shipments quick enough to even restock the shelves. But I will say, like, the guy who
But there's no fucking spoilage. Right, which is always an issue with a grocery store.
Not to mention that they're owned by Amazon, and that is the fucking most richest man in the world.
Yeah.
They said that like,
pay your fucking employees sick time, you motherfuckers.
Oh, tell us.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But on top of that, they charge, outrageous amounts of money for their food.
But I think that that's the thing, though, right? Is like, this is the time because everyone, and I don't care who you are, right? Everyone's taking a hit. Everyone's taking a hit.
I know. And there's a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck.
So,
what happens? But it's
like, be kind and be nice and be, Look, I just read this thing that place that your sunglasses. Do you have your sunglasses here? Your Warby Parker sunglasses.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys go to warbyparker.com, enter code My Mom Sandy COVID-19 quarantine.
They will not give you a discount.
Get anything. But
we do like their glasses.
So check this out. Check what an amazing thing is. They posted something the other day. They sent out an email and they were like, look, we don't feel safe in this time having our retail stores open. So we have decided to close all our retail stores for the next 2 weeks, reevaluate at that time, and all of our employees are still getting paid.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? What a fucking stand-up thing to do, And look, is that going to cost that company?
Yeah, but they probably can write it off tax-wise, number one. And number two, I would think that they're a big enough company that they can take a little bit of a hit, for God's sakes.
And it was funny because I had to drive down. I was driving down Abbot Kinney the other day in Venice, and it was such a great scene. You had the Warby Parker store closed, and right next to them a Ray-Ban store packed.
Oh, really?
And it's like, how many fucking people? I mean, you could not pay me to go try on sunglasses at a store right now.
I know, coronavirus sunglasses?
Ugh.
Come on now. We don't even want to go to the grocery store. But it is weird because when I feel like there's nowhere to really go,
because there's not right now.
I kind of feel a bit trapped.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow I'm going to go up to my mom's there's nothing up there. I want to go check on the house and see how things are.
Today's Monday. I wanted to do like a brunch yesterday. And, you had that thing where you're like, I could go, but I don't know who's waiting there. I don't know who sat there. I don't know if the cook is sick. I don't know if the food is being,
Well, I didn't see, then that's the other thing is I don't know how crazy you get. It's like, I don't know. Did I tell you that, like, when I went to the grocery store on Saturday, I wore these pants and I wore them again on Sunday, because I was only out for a short while and I'm thinking.
You need to wash them.
I know. Well, I have now since, okay. But my thought was not these pants. But my thought was, do we have to go through decontamination when we come in the house? We have to, if I'm out in public, I could have the coronavirus germ on my clothing and it could live there for 9 days.
Well, I bought a shower head. I actually installed it this morning.
It's spray disinfectant.
It's right by the front door. It's hooked up to where the hose is.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you get showered down before you walk in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you leave goggles out there to protect our eyes?
No, you need to wash the eyes off.
Oh, you can't put disinfectant in your eyes.
No, it's just water. There's a bar of soap down there. It's like a jail. It's like a jail shower.
So we're like showering on the front porch.
Just hose them off before they come in.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't anybody come over, please.
I don't know what the extent of this is, right? And I don't know what you do. I do know that this is, I think, a time in which everyone needs to be a little bit kinder and a little bit more understanding and a little bit nicer to each other. And they need to look out for not just themselves. I think that if you own a small business, although I know that it's going to be hard, I think, the best thing to do right now is to close, to accept the fact that we need to flatten this curve. We need to socially distance ourselves. And it sucks. Like, look, I don't want to buy into all this because, it's hard, right? I don't want to think of us as like, fuck, everyone's got to stay in their house and they can't go anywhere. But I think that that's what we need to do, especially if these people are getting it and they don't know they have it, spreading it. And, people in your age range are becoming ill or need to go to the hospital and there's not enough hospital beds. There's not enough respirators. There's not enough things, right? Like, I don't want to see that portion of our population get wiped out,
Maybe that's God's way.
Well, I don't know.
It's the natural. Ooh, that was thunder. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, no.
Wow.
There was a great...
I hear it again.
More thunder.
More thunder.
Here comes the rain.
We're going to get some rain, folks.
And you know what I thought was a fucked up thing, too? Was there was this whole thing that said, daylight or sun kills the coronavirus. And I was like, what a perfect time to have like 2 weeks of rain.
Oh, yeah. By the way, that's a plane. That's not thunder.
Oh. The rain plane.
Yeah, how much sunshine kills it? I don't know.
I don't know. Why don't you give us a good 6.5 earthquake right now, too? And let us just all panic.
I don't think that's the problem is I don't think they really know what kills it, how long it lives on surface. They say 9 days it can live on surfaces.
Yeah, I think
that's in itself is depressing because it's like if it's 24 hours, it's kind of like cool, close the room off for 24 hours.
I came home today from Whole Foods. I stripped down naked and put on a whole new outfit. You know?
Oh, you're such a sweetheart.
I know. I read this interesting thing. Apparently there was a landlord in Portland, Oregon, who decided for the month of April that he would not be charging his tenants rent.
Are you insinuating that I shouldn't charge my tenants rent?
No. I mean, we split it. It's a different situation
it's
here.
Not
but,
rent, but
what I'm saying is
that's nice because,
that's what I'm getting at.
Like
I think that's a great thing. And I think that
there's a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck, and that this is going to present a real hardship. We're coming up with rent. You know, we've got income taxes coming up. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We've got property taxes here in LA.
Do you think that we could see something, and I doubt this, right? But do you think that we could see something that the IRS just comes in and says, hey, don't worry about paying taxes?
They will say, don't worry about paying taxes right now. Although we will charge you penalties and interest.
but they wouldn't come out and just say, hey.
No, I don't think so. No, because that's another thing. Is oh, here she goes again.
Do you hear the thunder?
It's Collie's asthma attack. I just gave her medicine. What's today? Today is Monday. I'm trying to think of when I gave it to her. Yesterday. She's having to take it now almost every day. It's awful. I should teach you how to do it in case I die.
No. So do you think that the IRS will? Do you think we see something next year? Do you think there's something next year to reflect 2020?
Well, I think there's going to be some type of a tax break or a payroll tax break. I think there'll be something done that will help people out financially, but they'll never say don't worry about your taxes. Because the revenue they collect from taxes is what runs the government. How can they do that? Especially now they've just, what did they passed $8 billion for coronavirus, research and stuff like that. And now they're trying to put something through from the House and the Senate to help people, independent business owners and people that are out of work that don't have sick time or whatever. So they're, trying to put something together like that. Again, not all costs money. It's got to be paid for some sort of way. So yeah, tax revenue would be one of the ways that it would be paid for.
I always kind of thought, I never really thought about my tax money going to the government. I always thought that the guy who ran the IRS
got a big paycheck.
He had
every April 15th.
He had like a Scrooge McDuck vault with like coins in it, and he would get in the morning with his board shorts on and just jump in. Yeah. He'd have like a robe, and he would like take the robe off and then diving board into the coins.
Cool. Yeah. No, I never looked at it that way, but that's interesting. I do want to say one thing about the wonderful city of Los Angeles, or the Los Angeles Unified School District. This is a freaking bombshell. They closed the schools, which created total panic last week. And I'm assuming the reason they closed the schools was so that they would prevent the spread of coronavirus. Well, here's what they're going to do now. They're setting up 40, what they call, and I'm going to put this in quotes, family resource quotes. Quotes.
What do those look like?
It's close to quotes, but it's not quite.
Got it.
Quote. Family resource centers. A family resource center is a place where if your child is out of school and you have to go to work and you don't have childcare, you can bring your child to the family resource center where that child can hang out with a whole bunch of other children and they can do educational type things and have free meals. Isn't that what fucking school is? Number one. And number two, we're just putting more kids together. Wasn't that the point of sending everybody home and closing schools? Who the fuck is in charge?
Yeah, I think that.
On top of that, now, I don't know. What are the restrictions as far as how many people can actually be at one gathering?
You have 10.
Is it 10?
Kids?
Yeah.
9 kids and
they're doing 40. They're doing 40. They're doing 40 centers. They're setting them up at schools, which I think is a bad issue as well.
Turns into like Lord of the Flies.
Well, because
in these classrooms,
on top of that,
whoever holds the conch, they're in charge.
Gets to be the boss.
Yep.
Yeah. On top of that, though, now you've got possible coronavirus outbreaks in the classroom. So now what are you going to come in and decontaminate the classroom before you actually let real students come back at some point?
Well, I think that what this is, right, is that so for everyone who is an
I'm
audio
just
listener,
shooting myself.
You're shooting yourself.
I just can't fucking believe it.
I think that this is what the problem is, right? Is that because we've never had anything like this happen, no one knows what they're doing. So they're producing these results thinking, okay, well, we'll close schools and we'll limit kids from being in contact. And it's like, okay, cool. Great idea. But yes, what do you do?
And then you gather them all up together anyway.
Well, no. So what I was going to say is, what do you do in a family home where mom and dad work during the day?
It's a problem.
It's a problem. So now, and then, maybe their businesses aren't closed. So now mom and dad are going, well, shit, what do we do now? So now everyone comes back and they go, okay, we're going to have these resource centers. And now it's like, well, fuck, you might as well just have left school open.
Yeah.
I think that, again, this is still a thing where it's like, you have to identify that, like, we need to.
And aren't you supposed to be like 6 feet away from everybody? So,
I know.
So they'll be allowed to have 10 kids.
How do you play Duck Duck Goose that way?
That's a long run for Duck Duck Goose, right? I mean, that's fucking.
How do you
crazy.
do Heads Up 7-Up? You're like across the room. You're like, my mom, Sandy, I'm touching your thumb. Well, that sounds like Josh.
Oh my God. I mean, it's just crazy.
I don't think that they know what they're doing.
I mean, I understand. I understand, that it's a hardship for parents who both work and the kids are now out of school. I get that. And I don't know, I don't really know how you deal with that, except that you have, kids stay with friends or, not everybody has two working parents.
But
grandparents, whatever has to be done, you have to do. I mean, that's part of being an adult, is figuring out that kind of crap. And, unfortunately, it happens to all of us at some point in our lives. But having said that, if the idea to close the schools was to stop the spread of the coronavirus, and now all you're doing is gathering people, they are going to have grab and go stations where you can actually drive up and grab free meals.
For the kids? Does this relate to the family resource centers?
Yeah, it relates to the family resource centers. Yeah. So they are going to do that, which I think that's a great idea. But again, and they're asking for volunteers. They want volunteers to take care of the kids. They're going to pay you a stipends of $100 a day, which is pretty much what they pay a substitute teacher anyway.
But again,
but now you're exposed.
You have all these issues though, right? Who's preparing this food to grab and go? If you have someone preparing food and they have no symptoms, but they have coronavirus, now that coronavirus is being spread.
You've got that issue with, any restaurant,
right.
Even though
but that's why restaurants,
to-goes and,
right. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time that I picked up food from a restaurant in this whole thing. Maybe, Monday? Over a week,
Yeah.
But I think that's what I'm saying is I just think everyone doesn't know how to react. So they're trying to come up with things to make this work when I think realistically, the major thing that needs to be is it's like, hey, we just need to shut everything down for probably 7 days or 14 days.
Well, we can't shut everything down. I was thinking about that today. What if they stop picking up the trash? How long could we live with trash coming out of our trash cans? I mean, probably go maybe a couple weeks, but
well, so that's the thing, right? Is maybe that
I mean, there's some industries that in order for civilization to continue and survive, you can't, like, you couldn't, somebody's got to run the internet. We got to be able to have internet.
I don't think that there's a guy running the internet.
We got to be able to have electricity. I know, but there's billing, there's all sorts of different areas that.
I hope that they had that shit on, like, I hope it's like pretty, it just does its thing.
Just does its thing.
Just does its thing.
Yeah.
So, maybe they collect the trash every other week.
Doesn't really need people. It just does its thing. The trash truck. It's a driverless trash truck.
Elon Musk is fucking, if he was smart, he would be jumping on that right now.
That's right. He'd be building the driverless trash truck. So anyway, I just thought that was, we'll see what happens supposedly they're starting the resource centers tomorrow, but I just don't know how they can do that with the state regulations with
I will tell you right
gathering of 10 people.
If I had kids,
I mean, you can't even go to church.
No. If I had a kid and the option was send my kid to a family resource center to be hanging out with like 10 other kids or 20 other kids, who fucking knows, and random adults, or to not go to my job.
Not go to my job.
And stay at home with my kid, I would probably stay at home with my kid.
Yeah.
And I would be like building like forts.
And you could have fun.
Yeah.
Playtime.
Yeah.
All daytime.
Yeah.
All daytime or playtime.
So to kind of keep it moving, what are your plans for the next 7 to 14 days? And what are your quarantine? How are you? Because look, 2 weeks ago you were like, I'd love to self quarantine. This is your dream has come true. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, except that.
What are you going to do?
Except that I wanted to I didn't want the rest of the world to quarantine.
Oh, just you.
I just wanted me to self quarantine.
That's a little selfish.
Yeah,
huh?
Very selfish.
So it's 4 p.m. on a Monday. When we're done with this, I'm going to upload it, get it up. What are you going to do?
I'm going to take a nap.
Okay. And then tonight?
Take another nap.
Okay.
I don't know. I have taxes to do. I have lots of stuff to unpack from my mom and dad's house. So I have stuff to keep me busy. I probably have some bills to pay. I think I have to renew my business license. Yeah.
But what does the next 2 weeks look like for you? Are you going out? Are you?
No, where am I going to go? I've got to go pick up a prescription for my cat's asthma. I'm hoping that I can do that. I need to go to Rite Aid, but I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm going to have to go back shopping for my mother at some point. What else is there to do? You know? I mean, everything else is closed down. You know, I'm hoping that somebody does some good shit on TV. So far, it's been pretty boring.
Wait until
there's no sports. It's like there's no hockey. I mean, at least I used to be able to go, oh, it's Wednesday night. There's a Kings game on tonight. Yeah.
Somebody was saying, one of the hockey Instagram accounts I follow was trying to get ESPN to replay all the old like roller hockey leagues from like probably like, I don't know, late 90s, early 90s, probably early 90s, early to mid 90s, and play those on ESPN right now or whatever, because it's been so long since anyone's seen them. So it almost seems like it's new again, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I'd be into that. I mean, it's something, you know? Fuck, replay something. Why not? You know?
I know. What are they doing on ESPN?
Just, it's snow.
Is that what it is?
Fucking, you just turn it on. It's playing the national anthem.
Yeah, really?
The fucking...
We'll give you a sports update. Never. The scores, the current scores. There's no college basketball, no hockey. Did we cancel?
What's hockey?
Hockey. Did we cancel baseball yet? I
think they said spring training. Well, I think it's spring training right now. I think that's all delayed.
Yeah,
that's all postponed. And
I think next week we should probably talk about something other than the coronavirus, because I'll bet people. I mean, that's the other thing.
But who knows? Look, next week we could be on lockdown. I mean, this could be it.
We could be sick next week.
Oh,
I could be on a respirator in the hospital.
You sound like Bane. Like, Can you give me did you ever see Batman with Bane?
No.
Say, all right, very good.
All right, very good.
Not quite. So 2 things I wanted to touch on before we kind of wrap this up. And This is kind of, I think good, happy stuff.
Happy.
The first thing is our friend Rodman sent me a screenshot the other day of an email that he was writing to a client of his. And he said, this is the 3rd time I've caught myself using, okay, very good. It's actually...
Okay, very good. It's all right.
It's all right, very good, Rodman. Come on, buddy, get it together.
Come on, Rodman.
But he said,
all right sounds way more formal than
3rd
okay.
time he's caught himself using okay, very good, and he said, Sandy's legacy goes on.
There you go.
And he says the first thing, you don't have your glasses on the table. He says that's the screenshot of these. He says, okay, very good.
Okay, very good. Let me know if I can help you further as we progress. Isn't that sweet?
But see, he really should have said, Let me know if I can help you further as we progress.
All right.
Very good.
Yes, it's got to be the last line.
Yeah, it's not. You don't open with that. We don't open the podcast with all right. Very good.
No, but that's the end of the letter, or the email, whatever. So,
I guess.
I mean, it is appropriate. It just could be placed better.
Yes, place it better.
Yes.
The other thing I thought was funny was my cousin Brian, and I know he'll probably listen to this. And if you are listening, my cousin Brian, we hope that everything is good with the fam right now. That you guys are
the fam. We hope you have food.
Yeah, we don't know what you do. So
I know he hasn't told you.
Still hasn't told me what he does.
Damn you, Brian.
So I don't know if you're working.
We don't know if you work in
the
first place.
Do you even have a job?
Do you have a job? What?
You make your kids work for you?
Are your kids like child actors?
Are they stealing stuff at the grocery store? Is that why no one can find toilet paper? My cousin Brian. So he sent out a text to me on March 3rd, and he said, I think this was after we had done our last episode about coronavirus.
Yeah.
But he said he was talking with a lady, and I quote, I was talking with a lady yesterday in a meeting, and we were talking about the coronavirus. And I started quoting you and your mom as if it was legitimate information that I'd read on an upstanding website.
It is. It was.
He says, I totally didn't realize it until later. Too funny. That's what you guys are talking about on this latest episode.
Well, that's good. You know what, Cousin Brian, you're great because you're also the one that, you knew everything. When you came over to my house and you saw the 90 Day Fiancé on TV, you knew everything about all the actors and actresses. Well, they're not actresses and actresses.
They might be.
They're supposedly real life people. We'll put that in quotes as well. But it's like you absorb it, you remember it, and you regurgitate it.
He listens. He's a fucking listener.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't go over his head. He remembers it.
He's a smart guy. My cousin Brian's a smart guy. He's a smart fella.
I only wish I knew what he did.
I wish I knew what he did.
For a living.
I wish I knew what he did.
I know he's got a wife and a couple kids, so he's got to be doing something.
He posted this video the other day. I almost commented on it. I think it was on Facebook maybe, but he posted this video of it looked like a church performance, this woman singing like the gospel.
Yes.
And all these musicians on stage.
Yes.
I don't think he was on stage. Because he plays a little bit of the finger banjo, the finger guitar, the guitar.
Yes.
So then I wanted to comment.
So maybe it was a show that he watched. Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to comment because it was like this woman singing, and I wanted to comment and be like, "You look so different now." You know?
Well,
maybe he was on stage. Maybe he was. I don't know. He's a very talented musician.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, but we still don't know what he does, and maybe one day he'll shoot you a little text and tell you.
What if he? I
don't know.
You know what was?
I don't know what he's waiting for.
You know what's kind of troubling?
What?
I was going to tell you this actually. So, usually when I go to Whole Foods,
yes,
I walk in and there's always really fun songs playing.
Yes,
it'll be like
funeral procession.
No, but it'll be I'll walk in and it'll be like "Wake Me Up Before You Go."
Yeah,
or it'll be like
"Before You Go."
Yep, or it'll be
it's happy elevator
happy
music,
there'll be like Madonna, or it'll be
holiday,
or it'll be like and you're shopping, you're like, oh, this is fucking great. No joke, I was in line and it was like the first time I noticed the music that was playing. It was the song that started was "In the End" by Linkin Park.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, bad. In the end?
Bad choice. But the thing is that they buy that. The stores buy soundtrack music that it just plays over and over and over again. If you worked in a store and you heard that, you probably after the third or fourth day would be like, change the soundtrack, please.
I think it's always pretty
so they can't really take one song out and play the rest.
Yeah, I just thought maybe this was part of the Dark Days playlist.
This was their attempt to urge you to buy more food in the end.
And it worked.
Yes,
I was like, this is it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is not it. I hope everybody's safe out there. Don't, wash your hands for 20 seconds, cough in your arm.
I would say, look, if you're going to wash your hands for 40 seconds.
Crook in the arm.
Why not?
I know, and we don't really know how crazy to get. Do you decontaminate? Decontaminate when you come home? Do you take your? I'll tell you, I feel almost like it because when my folks had bed bugs at their house, it was.
Bed bugs was easy compared to coronavirus.
No, because I would come home every day, and my clothes would automatically go in the washer and the dryer. My shoes, I would spray with a mixture of alcohol and water, to kill any bed bugs that might be on there or eggs. But it was a process, and I did feel like I was decontaminating when I came to my house in order to not bring them to my house. The thing is that you can almost see bed bugs when they get big enough, but you can't see the coronavirus.
I keep looking for it looks like a little spiky ball.
You can't see that? You didn't see that? I know. I've seen them on pictures on TV, but I haven't seen it in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need to look under a microscope.
Maybe we need to install
at a nasal swab of somebody who's infected.
Maybe I don't want to get that close. Maybe we install microscopes into our eyes.
Good idea. Maybe we install little
antennas?
No, little
Wi-Fi signal?
No, little
a router?
Little like spray things that come out of our forehead that will spray or decontaminate our face.
That would be weird.
I know, it would be. How would you fill them up?
That's the issue with them?
That's one of the issues with
I like that. Literally, your fucking patent is we have two sprayers that come out of our forehead that spray down.
They're implants.
How to decontaminate our face.
Speaking of implants,
and then the issue with them is how do we fill them up? Fuck.
How do we get the disinfectant back in there once we've sprayed? I mean, you got to be able to fill them.
You have like a tube.
Useless.
You have a tube in your cheek.
There
you have to fucking pour it in. It just shoots back up to your brain.
Speaking of implants, I just have to say this. I've been watching the.
Oh, here we go.
I know some of you guys watch it. 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, and Darcy is on again.
I literally cannot stand Darcy.
I'm going to tell you, her and her sister both have gotten so fucking ugly. Sorry, Darcy, but you've done too much plastic surgery. The lips, I swear to God, they look like they're, 5 sets of lips on the top and 6 sets of lips on the bottom. I mean, it's just unreal. And I saw it last night and I thought, oh my God, I wish Josh was here to see this, because that's the one thing we talk about is that lip thing.
It's not attractive.
I don't know why they think it is. I mean, look at yourself in the mirror, girls. You've gotten, they used to be attractive women. They've gotten older, but I think as they've gotten older, they do all that.
Yeah, I'm not
Botox and filler. And, oh my God,
I've never been someone who's thought that like the plastic face look is attractive. I don't think it's attractive.
I don't know why the big huge lips. What is up?
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not cute.
I mean, cute. If you want, just like punch yourself in the lips, get a swollen lip, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I mean, I think it's one thing if a woman doesn't, if a woman is like, oh, I'm going to go, because I think that there's a very fine line, where if a woman or a man feels like, oh, maybe I need to get this done, I'll feel a little bit more confident. But I feel like now you're just kind of playing God a little bit, and you're just fucking with things that don't need to be fucked with.
Yeah, well, the problem is people go way overboard. A little injection is one thing, but but again, when I look at these girls' lips, I just think, if I looked at a picture of them like 4 years ago and a picture of them now, I'm telling you, the difference would be.
Oh, I've seen. There's people on.
God, there's so ugly.
I have. I'm not going to name any names. I have friends on Instagram who you can literally go back 4 years on their Instagram and look at them before they started getting their lips done. And you're like, oh wow, like you're a really pretty female.
Yeah.
And you look at them now and you're just like, what the fuck did you do to your lips?
I don't get it, but okay, whatever. Here.
Yeah, I mean, look, to each their own, right? But I just think everyone just, chill out on the fucking injecting your shit with
I know.
shit.
And remember, when you get older, it doesn't always look great. It's
or like the women that have had so many nose jobs or I guess men too, that their nose like turns up.
Looks like a Michael Jackson
looks
nose?
like a weird like a small Michael Jackson nose, This is not normal. Like people's noses are supposed to be different and look different, and some people have big noses and small noses and long noses and short noses, and some people have thick lips and small lips and a big smile and a small smile, and like that's what makes us different.
Yeah,
that's what's great. It's like you go to. I was out to eat recently, and there was this table of these girls sitting in front of me. And I mean, they all had their fucking lips done, and they all, no wrinkles in the forehead. The foreheads didn't move, and it was just fucking disgusting. I was like, "You girls look so bad."
You didn't say that to him.
I did not say that to him. No.
Good.
I like to remain a little low key, but.
Well, I don't think it's really for us to comment on to them necessarily. I mean, obviously they do it for a reason, whatever the reason, but take my word for it. It's not always attractive. And on top of that, when you go overboard, I hear people get addicted to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a rush,
Yeah.
Look, I look another 2 years younger.
No, I don't like it. Yeah. I mean, I guess, it's not, you're right. Like, it's not for us to judge. My opinion is that it's not for me.
But I did do the judge on the Darcy and the what's her Stacy
Darcy and Darcy. Marcy and Darcy.
Marcy and Darcy.
Remember that was in Married with Children? The next door neighbor Marcy. She got married.
Yes.
To Jefferson Darcy.
Marcy Darcy.
She was like, I don't even remember his last name. They were like, she read the wallet. She's like, it's Darcy. She was like, oh my God, my name's Marcy Darcy. So great. Piece of TV gold.
Oh, yes. Married with Children. All right. Well, I think that, I hope everybody's safe out there. Don't contaminate. Don't be contaminated. If you need anything, just send us a text.
We're not coming to your house right now.
We're not coming anywhere, but
we figured, this is your chance to kind of hang out with my mom Sandy during these dark times.
Well, that's why we're putting this out early because figure, people are probably home bored to death.
Now, because they are, do you have a recommendation for a movie or TV show or both that they should watch during this downtime?
Well, I haven't been very successful on finding good TV, to be honest with you. I do like Mom, which is not on Mondays, but on Tuesday through Friday. I think it's on in the afternoon on, one of those channels, Paramount channel or something.
Paramount.
Paramount? Paramount. I don't know what it is.
Paramount.
It used to be called something else. It changed its name. On
Cox?
No, on Spectrum, it's Channel 15.
Got it. And then what about Mom as far as the TV show?
I've also really gotten into not just Locked Up Abroad, but there's also one that's called To Catch a Smuggler.
Mm.
And they'll do like Peru or they'll do Brazil, so I kind of get into that. That's kind of fun.
I was talking to a client the other day. I don't even know how it came up, but we were talking about TV. And I think I said something about Dateline. And he asked me if I'd ever watched those Chris Hansen's How to Track Down a Predator. How to Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that was just such, for that moment in time, that was such good TV.
I know, but it's just so weird to think that, I don't know. It is a weird kind of setup in that, he pops out when the guy's in the house.
The best thing is
with a young girl, he pops out. Hey, how's
it
going there?
The guy would knock on the door, and he's just like, and you hear the girl from the bed. Come on in, it's open.
I'll be right out.
And then you see the guy walking. He's got like a large cheese pizza. He's got like a 6-pack of fucking Smirnoff Ice
and a big pack of condoms.
And then, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm just hanging out. I'll just sit here in the kitchen.
Just wanted to talk.
And then Chris Hansen walks out and he's like, hey. And the guy's like, oh, are you the dad?
Father?
And he's like,
I'm Chris Hansen.
No, I'm Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC. And then he's just like, oh, yeah. He's like, so,
okay, I don't watch TV, so I don't know what the fuck that means.
Like, so what are you doing here? And he's like, I just came over because I brought a pizza. I knew her folks were out of town. I thought she might be hungry. He's like, what about the condoms? He's like, oh, yeah. Well, this is actually just to let her know not to have sex.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you got it right. And then, okay, well, you're free to go.
And no, my favorite is they talk for probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the guy will look at Chris Hansen and goes, look, I'm so sorry. Can I go? And Chris Hansen's like, yeah, go ahead. Go. He walks out the door and it's just like, get down, get on the fucking ground, get down. He's jumped by like the SWAT team outside.
I know, it's great. It's great. Like that guy thinks he's really going to get away.
He's going to go back to his Volkswagen Bug
and never do this again.
Because that's what Volkswagen Bug and just drive home.
Because that's what he's promised. He always promises Chris Hansen, I'll never do do this again. I swear. I know. I know now. This is wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Whew, what a relief.
All right. So, favorite movie that they should watch? Is it still Dances with Wolves?
No, I think probably
Angels in the Outfield. Field of Dreams.
No.
You used to have the hots for old Kevin Costner, didn't you?
Yeah, I do like Kevin Costner movies.
Bodyguard.
No Way Out.
Should people watch The Bodyguard?
No Way Out's a really good Kevin Costner.
The Bodyguard is kind of the story of me and you a little bit.
Kind of, yes. I protected you, like The Bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Kevin.
You
were my Kevin.
Kevin too.
I was your Whitney.
You were my Whitney.
Without all the crack cocaine problems.
Without all the other shit. But no, as far as movies, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's on Netflix right now.
No, but just your favorite movie. Do you have a movie that you...
Fried Green Tomatoes, I love.
All right.
Love it. If you really want to look at an old movie, The Bad Seed.
Okay.
And always The Shawshank Redemption.
It's a good one. Quality.
It's a good one, yes.
Quality.
Yes, and you can almost always find it on almost every weekend. It's on TBS or something.
Yeah. And if you don't own it, you should just buy it.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a great movie.
Did they do prison tattoos in that movie? I forget.
I don't think so.
See, that's funny because that's a throwback to one of our older episodes.
I know, but somebody may not know that.
That's why I just said that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say if you guys have not watched yet The Outsider on HBO, I think it's
that about?
10 episodes. I feel like maybe you would like it. It's kind of like a True Detective meets The X-Files kind of sitch going on.
Not true.
It's not true. No, it's based on a Stephen King book.
Fictitious.
It is, but essentially, a man is accused of killing a boy. No spoilers, but a man is accused of killing a boy, an 11-year-old boy, and it turns out that he was, although he was ID'd to be at the scene of the crime, and his DNA and his fingerprints and all his blood,
I gotta tell you something.
Are all found there. He was actually 70 miles away in another city during the time of the murder. So it presents this question of how could he have been in two places at the same time. It's very interesting. I think it's 10 episodes. I was really happy with it, hoping they do a second season. And as far as movies, I know for myself, I'm going to try to watch Parasite as well as The Joker. And I actually wanted to see Peanut Butter Falcon, which I have not seen. I haven't
heard of any of those movies. I must be really out of it.
Parasite won Best Picture. The Joker.
This year?
Yeah.
What's it about?
Korean film. I don't really know, to be honest. It's subtitles.
Is it really about like the monster inside me type of thing?
No.
Like
so I don't really know, to be honest with you. People were like, it's not what you think it is. And I'm like, wow, this sounds... But it's,
okay.
People were like, oh, you'll never see it.
So where do you get that on Netflix?
On demand. You on demand it. You rent it for 48 hours. It's $4 or something.
Does it go on our bill?
It depends who you rent it from.
Oh.
But I've heard that is great. The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Penis?
Joaquin Penis? No, I don't think that's his name.
Joaquin
Phoenix.
See, it hurts to open my mouth too wide.
I know, you didn't tell anybody about what you did there.
No. Mouth surgery. And then...
So next time we'll talk about mouth surgery. And then I also want to tell you about I'm not going to do it today, but I want to tell you about the Israelis' way of checking out the coronavirus spread. Checking the coronavirus spread.
Got it. Wait, didn't you say we weren't going to talk about coronavirus in the next episode?
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell that story because I thought it was very interesting and very ingenious of them to do this, but I don't want to go into it now because we're
long episode.
Yeah. Time to go.
Time to upload it.
Time for my nap.
All right. So, guys, again, stay safe. Thank you so much for listening, especially in this time where there's so many outlets and things to do. TV. I meant like TV and podcast. Like there's so much.
We might have to do 2 of these a week just because.
I know, I was thinking about
just because we're like fucking bored, you know. I mean, you and I are going to kill each other after 14 days of being in the house.
I'll drive around the block.
I'll go.
But
I'll go.
Thank you guys for listening. And again, stay safe out there. And if you can, I mean, in all seriousness, if you can, stay at home. Stay at home and just relax. Watch Fried Green Tomatoes. Catch up on The Outsider on HBO.
Catch up on the My Mom Sandy
if you guys haven't. I mean, look, we have 30 other episodes to listen to.
That's right. And they're kind of fun when you even repeat listen to them.
Yeah. Or get drunk.
Or just, what you could do is just like play it at double speed. Then it's really
That's really fun. We are really fun at a speed and a half. So.
Yeah. Speed and a half is fun. Double speed is like crazy. Crazy.
It's like we're on speed.
So anyway, how do they get in touch with us?
Well, you guys can get a hold of us. Email us, mymomsandypodcast@gmail.com. Or you guys can go on our Instagram at mymomsandypodcast. And we might even, maybe next episode, we might even do like a live Instagram thing where you guys can just watch, because that is only the people that follow us, but you guys can like watch us in our little podcast studio and
watch us. You mean I have to put makeup on? I have to like wash my face and shit?
You got to put pants on. And
I have pants on. They're just not attractive pants.
Don't lie to them.
They're gray sweats.
You always do the podcast with no pants and no shoes.
That's right. No pants, no shoes.
I like your hat today.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's very authentic.
It's nice.
It's invisible.
It's a coronavirus.
It's a coronavirus
hat.
It's invisible.
Is that walking penis on your head?
No, I don't think so. Walking penis. Nope. It's a standstill penis.
Walking peni?
It's not a walking penis.
Standstill peni?
Yeah, or stationary peni.
Stationary peni. Yeah. Stationary peni actually opened up for the Shoulders in '87.
They're a great band. I love
That's
them.
all we got.
All right,
guys,
be safe out there.
Stay
safe. Away from the coronavirus,
Stay
please.
away from people.
All right.
But listen to this podcast.
All right. Very good. Oh. That's all right. Get it close to my mouth. That'll be a good one. That's a great outtake for you.